Why are you so tense, god damn it?
Because I don't know what I'm doing!
Calm down.
Hello, everybody. It's Philly Kuts with another episode of Beer with the Kuts, or BWTK. I can't even say my own stuff. Anyway, had a super long day at work today. I essentially did a double. Did about 11 hours straight. So I'm beat, man. But I wanted to make a video because I found something on the way home that really surprised me. Supermarket sushi, spicy crab roll. Look at that, it's crushed on the top, all that. Yum yum. Yeah, anyway. I'll be eating this probably right after I do this video. I'll spare you guys of my eating habits. But anyway, here's what else I found at my local grocer. The last issue of Nintendo Power. And I was just, wow. I didn't even realize it. I didn't even realize it until like a couple weeks ago that they were ceasing to exist, that Nintendo Power was going away. And this cover actually looks very familiar to me of the very first Nintendo Power cover that ever came out. And they actually give you a free poster. And if you look, you see that? I don't know if my camera's going to focus in well enough. That was what the first issue looked like. And it had Super Mario 2, Clay, all that on the mushroom. And to end it all, they do it justice. And it's kind of sad, but it's the reality of print media today. I mean, it's just going the way of the dodo bird, as they say. Even the big major periodicals such as Time, Newsweek, U.S. News and World Report, the only one that's left now is Time. Newsweek recently, I know that they recently stopped printing. Print media is dying everywhere. I mean, newspapers, local newspapers are folding, big newspapers are struggling, circulation is way down. I mean, it's just natural when you really think about the internet and how easy it is to get media and how quick media needs to be updated and information needs to be updated, that print media can't really keep up. You know, Newsweek had to switch its whole format. I was subscribed to Newsweek, and they pretty much switched the format to having mostly opinion-oriented pieces, more investigative journalism type things rather than just like reporting on news stories, because let's face it, by the time Newsweek came out, even though it came out every week, the stories in there were irrelevant if they were trying to keep up with current events as it happened, because as you know, media, news is on a 24-hour, 24/7 cycle, so it's hard for these guys. So I'm going to open this up, but first, let me do my beer. A Newcastle. It's got a really great cap. I'm telling you, man, these European beers and these foreign beers, they kick our asses in the cap department, man. I'm telling you. Alright, let me pour this out. I got it in a chilled glass, something that I would never do in a review, because I know that you are not supposed to chill glasses to drink beer, but you know what? All my other glasses were dirty. So, I didn't feel like doing the dishes after working as long as I did today. This one's for all you guys, anyone who had to work a shift today, or even if you didn't, this one's for you. Man, that tastes good, man. Nothing like a cold one after a hard day, man, I'm telling you. Ooh, shoot. What a long day. But this really brightened my day up, man. Like, this was almost like, just like a hidden treasure of a day, you know? I mean, something as little as this, because I thought I wasn't going to be able to find this. And I looked around a few spots, you know, the obvious places, like Borders and stuff, and I couldn't find it, because this came out December 2012, but as you know, lots of times monthly magazines, they actually, you know, run ahead. It's kind of like the seasonal beers, right? Like Sam Adams right now is out with their spring beers, even though it's still winter. There's still 2 months of winter. These guys kind of do the same thing, you know, that even though it's December, this probably came out end of October, I guarantee it. Let's open this up, alright? Maybe I should switch to camera view. Well, for now, let me just open this up. We'll take a look at the poster first. I'll do maybe a little retrospective about me and Nintendo. I actually got my old buddy Rob here out of the closet. Who remembers him? He stares into your soul. Nintendo Power. So now I want you guys to think of these videos as just me kind of, you know, having a conversation with myself because I'm a weirdo. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I am. Not really, but me having a conversation kind of, or a dialogue with you guys. And, you know, you can communicate with me in the comments section. Talk to me about maybe memories you have of Nintendo Power or just Nintendo in general. I did own an NES. I also had a Super NES. Nintendo 64, and a GameCube, and that's when it kind of stopped. I never got the Wii, and I'm pondering whether or not to get the Wii U. I kind of want to wait until more games come out, especially the exclusives. You know, if they come out with like a kick-ass Zelda, or, you know, really, really kick-ass Metroid, I might be on board. But until then, I'm going to do the wait-and-see tactic. But there it is, man. 1988 to 2012. Damn, man. Did you ever really think that this was going to end? Nintendo Power. That's something. And I mean, and I'm looking at this, and I'm seeing if I can recognize any covers. And I definitely do, because I definitely... My older brother and I, not Choi... We had subscriptions to this growing up. And man, it's crazy how they could fit all the covers on this one little poster. I think I might find a place in my apartment to hang this up. Because it doesn't seem that dorky, I guess. I guess because it's kind of small. So, because I don't really have video game stuff hung up around my apartment, you know. It's just me. I mean, when you get to a certain age, I think sometimes you shy away from that. Oh, here you go, guys. I mean, I'm not gonna get too crazy with it. You probably can't see it that well, but I'm just gonna do a quick pan. And lots of Zelda, lots of the franchises up on here. Donkey Kong, even Sonic, strangely. Wow. Maybe I'll set the camera down and we'll leaf through this together. Last issue of Nintendo Power, and it's got new Super Mario Bros. U, which I have not played yet. The greatest games of all time. Final issue. 25 years of Nintendo Power history. And of course, you got the huge advertisement for GameFly. Tons of ads, as expected. Letters. I never wrote a letter to Nintendo Power. However, my friend did get into Nintendo Power way back in the day. He actually played Nintendo. It was a pro wrestling game. I don't even know if it was Nintendo made it or not. There was like this pink Mexican luchador wrestler that could do like a flip, like a backflip or something, and it was like the coolest thing back then when we had it. Anyway, my friend was able to go all the way through the game, beat the champion, and he took a Polaroid picture in a darkened room with just a television on, and it made it into Nintendo Power. And I remember we were so stoked. I wish I could find out what freaking issue that was. So we got lots of letters here. The score. See, I haven't bought an issue of Nintendo Power in so long that I'm not even aware of how the structure is, you know, like what the segments are that they have every month in it. So I'm not going to pretend that, you know, that I know. I guess it's sad because people like me just stopped buying it. You know, as I got older, Nintendo just wasn't part of my gaming. What is this? This is some sort of list. I'm sorry. Nintendo Power's all-time favorite games. Oh, okay. So, I mean, the number 285, they've done it, the 285 top titles. 205 is Silent Hill Shattered Memories, so we'll do that. 178, Castlevania, Harmony of Dissonance. Golden Sun, number 166. Super Punch-Out, number 65. And that was for Super NES. Man, I gotta tell you, man, the original Punch-Out, where's that gonna come up? Because that's gotta be way down on the list. Let me see if I can even find that. And they have to have a picture of it. If they don't, I'm gonna be pissed. There it is. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, dude. Let me tell you something. Growing up as a kid, this like was the ridiculously popular game. And I gotta tell you, there was a code that you could put in, because back then when you had to save a game or whatever, they would give you a passcode. It isn't like it is today where you can just kind of boot it up. For a lot of the games anyway, as far as I remember, that you would have to put in a code. And there was a code where you could get right to Mike Tyson. And dude, that was like such a thrill back then, because when you fought Iron Mike in this game, if he clipped you with like one punch, I think certain punches you would just get knocked out, and the other punches it would take away like at least half your energy. So pretty much if you got hit once or twice by Tyson, you were done. You were done. And your timing had to be impeccable when you were fighting Tyson. Like, you just really had to be impeccable. I mean, now it's easy, right? But back then, when I was a little kid, ridiculous. Ridiculously hard. So the top 5, we have Super Mario World, number 5. Number 4, Final Fantasy 3. And remember, this is by surveyed Nintendo Power readers. Number 3, Super Mario Galaxy. Number 2, Zelda, Link to the Past. And number 1, Zelda, Ocarina of Time. So that was rated the number 1 game ever. All-time favorite by Nintendo Power readers. What else do we got in here? Great moments in Nintendo Power. And it just goes through a retrospective of marquee events. Power Glove. Wow, I remember that. Holy cow. I never knew anyone that had a Power Glove. Star Fox, when that came out, that was huge. Super Metroid. Kind of set the blueprint for like those Castlevania-esque games. Crazy stuff, man. That had quite an influence. 1996, and I remember when Super Mario 64 came out, that was just insane. To have a Mario game in 3D like that, it was like really, you know, like a three-dimensional plane. It was huge. Pretty cool. Man, I remember when the GameCube came out, man. I bought GameCube at launch. I remember I reserved it from FYE. And it was so easy back then to reserve a console. It's nothing like the way it is now, where you had to get like a ticket and stuff. I mean, you were pretty much able to kind of walk in the store, reserve it, and that was that. I mean, I don't remember having any of a hard time, but I was so excited that day. And then you got the Wii in 06. I never got the Wii. I just couldn't get past the fact that it was still going to be in standard definition when Xbox were going to be high def. I couldn't get past that fact. I know that graphics aren't everything in a game, of course. It's usually all about the gameplay. But I just was so amazed when I saw the high def graphs of the Xbox. I just couldn't get past it. I couldn't get past how clear things looked, how sharp everything looked. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Didn't do it for me. Omaha Steaks. God damn, man. And my dearly recently departed grandmother. I'm going to give you a little bit of personal information on the Kuts. My grandmother recently passed away. And every Christmas she would send me a box of Omaha Steaks. And damn, I'm going to miss that. I mean, obviously I'm going to miss my grandmother more. But man, it was always such a treat to get that box. You know, they would come shipped in the mail in a styrofoam container with dry ice. And man, I always looked forward to that. And it was really, I'm going to tear up here. No, I'm not going to tear up. But, you know, it really put a somewhat of a damper on my Christmas, because you know, my grandmother wasn't around and those steaks didn't come in the mail. But anyway, hope that didn't come across as too shallow. But so really, wow, a big part of this issue is just the retrospective, year by year retrospective of marquee events that occurred in the Nintendo universe. Power players. This looks like an article. Nintendo Power editors, past and present, recall their favorite memories of the magazine, and that should be interesting. I'll for sure read this. Looks like they really put a lot of text in here, which is nice. So I'm sure you're going to get a wealth of information in here, catch you up on the Nintendo world, so that's going to be fun. Give me a boost, okay, and it's some ratings of games, and they actually gave New Super Mario Bros. U an 8. Wow. I almost want to say that may seem like an honest review, because you would expect Nintendo Power to give it, what, at least probably a 9.5, I would imagine, right? I mean, how biased would that have to be? Sorry, man, I could just go off on like a million tangents, just, Zombie U, they gave a 9. And now that seems a little biased, because I remember a bunch of other gaming media gave this a lot lower than a 9. They said it was awfully repetitive. Dark Knights Armored Edition, they gave a 9.0. Truly Tekken Tag Tournament 2 Wii U Edition review, 8.0. Madden NFL 13, 8.0. I don't know how that could get an 8.0, because I heard that it was a very bare bones version on the Wii U. Ninja Gaiden, Bold and Bloody, 7.0. Reaping Rewards, Darksiders 2, 8.5. Sing Party, 8.0. Assassin's Creed 3, 8.0. So, they reviewed a lot of the new Wii U games. Epic Mickey 2, 7.0. Yada, yada, yada. And the last episode, or comic panels, of Nestor and Max. And I wonder, did this series run for the life of the magazine? Because I think I remember this like way back in the day. And what's on the last page, people? Tell me it's not an advertisement. Game over. Thanks for reading. Cute. And then there's an advertisement to get your own real-life ocarina. Getting close to the end here. Kind of a sad day, man. Kind of a sad day, if you ask me. Nintendo Power. So what's your fondest memory? Let me know. I'm probably going to keep this in a treasured place. I'm going to probably keep it forever, probably, actually. I mean, it's the last issue of Nintendo Power. I mean, this, like, really brings back a lot of memories. And I think that that's, like, the power of Nintendo. Especially if you grew up playing the consoles. I mean, Nintendo just really has a special place. Even though I did buy... Well, I bought... No, I didn't buy it. But even though my parents bought me a Genesis... Sorry, man. Remember, I worked 11 hours straight. Bought me a Genesis, and I probably played that more than the Super NES. For some reason... I don't know. I think I have a bigger fondness for the Marios, Metroid games, and the Zeldas. You know? I mean, it just really... I mean, those are like the big memories of growing up and playing games. I don't know if that will ever be usurped by another franchise. You know, Master Chief doesn't really do it. Sackboy doesn't really do it. I don't know. I just never really... acquired that fondness the way I have for these. And it's probably because, you know, for me, growing up, you know, being a little kid, it was just, you know, a magical time, I guess, you know. It was like cartoon characters that came to life back then. And even though the graphics weren't that great when you really look back at it, and even though now I probably would have a difficult time playing these games over again, because sometimes I think it's better for you to keep things in memory than to actually go back and try to relive them. Because I did try playing a few games, you know, for nostalgic purposes, and it kind of, in a way, ruined it for me. It's almost like, I think if I keep it up here in nostalgia land and keep it, you know, in that realm, between the ears, it's better for me. If that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like not making sense at all. I mean, that's something to think about. What do you think? Let me know. So, this has been Beer with the Kuts. Nintendo Power. Please, final issue. A sad day. December 2012. Final issue of Nintendo Power. Alright, Beer with the Kuts is over. I'll see you next time, guys. Peace.